how's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope you guys are excited for the week ahead. If you don't have your prep list with you, you can find it in the description for this video. So check the description, you'll find links to get your prep list, get that, and come right back so we can get this done. There are 3 varying levels of prep depending on your level of motivation. However, if you want to get the time to table results as indicated in the meal plan, you're gonna want to stick with me to level 3 for this. But if you just don't have it in you, then even if you get level 1 or level 2 done, you are going to be so happy that you did. And what's on the menu this week? Let's see. We got Peruvian chicken, followed by Big Mac bowls, and lastly, Buffalo Ranch stuffed sweet potatoes. You can have those in any order that you want, but we're gonna get the majority of the prep done now, okay? So I'm gonna start my oven, actually my air fryer oven, preheating here to 425. Okay, gonna get that preheated because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by baking my sweet potatoes. If you bake them up front, you're just gonna have to reheat them a little on the day of, but it takes a long time to bake. It does not take a long time to reheat. You could also make these if you would like to using a pressure cooker, or you can cook them in your regular oven. Okay. What did I put on? It's like I don't even remember what I'm doing most of the time. There we go. Okay. There we go. So it's preheating now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna prep my potatoes so that they're ready to go in there whenever that is done preheating. To prep my potatoes, I'm going to violently poke them with a fork a number of times all over, just so they don't explode in there. I don't really know how many times you have to poke them with a fork, but honestly, I kind of enjoy this process. So if you do too, just let it out. Have fun with it. Do not poke yourself in the process. This is going to be the part that will take the longest. So we're just gonna poke around at that now. Cards on the table. I have not yet tried to make sweet potatoes in my deluxe air fryer and oven yet, but I looked at it and I thought, you know what? Let's see how long it takes to bake a decent sized sweet potato in there. So we're just gonna see what happens. You know, we're gonna experiment a little bit together. I'd love to be able to experiment with this stuff, you know, before we all hung out, but you know what? I just really don't have the time. Not gonna lie. So, well, it's better than an active experiment together. Also, just, you know, casually thawing my hamburger. There might still be some ice chunks in it, not sure. But I'm going to start with something else that is in our level 3, which is cooking ground beef. It does call for 1.5 pounds. I have about 2 pounds here. I'm gonna say that's fine, and I'm just gonna cook 2 pounds of it because it's all gonna get used. I know it will. So, just dumping my ground beef into my pan. Quick wash up, because I really just don't want to get everything else all covered in ground beef either. And now, shall we go back to level 1? You know, kind of skip around a little bit there, but that's life. Life isn't straightforward. Meal prepping isn't straightforward. If it was all straightforward, where would the adventure be? So I'm going to chunk 2 peppers, which I am just not obeying any rules today. I had a partial pepper in my fridge that looked like it was gonna start to go funky, so I just thought I would chunk it up with 2 other ones. only 2.5, but they're kind of small peppers too, so. As always, a meal plan, a recipe, anything like that, it's more of a guideline, right? Like, when you're baking, you gotta follow things kind of to a T mostly, unless it's chocolate chips. Chocolate chips, you just go wild. But cooking, you kind of follow a little bit of logic, a little bit of a recipe, a little bit of your heart, and just go with it. So I'm just rough chopping these. There's no real rhyme and reason. I'm trying to keep them to ish the same size, but if they're not, I am not losing any sleep over it. There we go. Got a bunch of chopped peppers right there. Just a rough cut. So, what else? Okay, so next we're gonna floret a head of broccoli. I have 2 small heads of broccoli there. I'm probably just gonna cut all of the florets off of both of them, because why not? Whatever I don't use in one recipe, odds are I can use it as veggies to snack on. I'm also going to reserve the stem. I'm not throwing out the stem this week, okay? Take the next one. Enjoy floreting broccoli. I don't know why. I just think it's a fun vegetable to play with. I really wish my kids enjoyed it more. I can tell you my 8-month-old loves it. So I hope she stays with that, because it's one of my favorite vegetables. It really is. It's always around. It's always around the same price. Okay, air fryer is asking for me to add food. I think I must have left something in there somewhere, because there's a little bit of smoke, but we're gonna, there's a crumb of something right there. Whatever, we're just gonna see what happens. Okay, so, gonna throw those bad boys in there. There we go. And we're gonna get that cooking and see how that goes. Fun times, right? Lovely experiments. Next, I'm gonna chunk up a red onion. Get a divider for this. Get a divider for this tray. My little prep containers, they do have dividers on them, which I like, because I'm going to be chopping up a regular onion too. And then I can just store all of my onions in the same container, because I don't mind if my white onions and my red onions share some flavor. Now, if you're sharing onions in the same dish, it might be a little bit of a different story, right? Okay, so my red onion is done. And next I am going to chop up some regular onion. Actually an onion and a half. So I'm gonna chop them up all here in my electric twist and chop. I like this food processor because it's small, it's a nice size just for meal prepping. It works really quick, so even if I have to meal prep something that is bigger, I don't mind doing it in batches. And it's very consistent, like the blade that's in it, it moves up and down, so instead of having everything under processed at the top and over processed at the bottom, it's just all processed. There we go. So my onions are all chopped very nicely. And I'm actually going to put one of the 2 onions, so I'm just guessing here, one of the 2 onions in with my ground beef. And the rest of it, I'm gonna throw in this container for later. I think. What am I gonna do with that? Nope, I am waiting on that. Actually. It gets its own container. I know, making plans, making rules as I go along. I will tell you that onion is getting the last laugh though. My goodness. Those are vicious. All right. I want to chop up 3 sticks of celery. Just chopping off some of the wonky bits there. And 2 carrots, maybe 3, because these are funny looking carrots. I don't want to judge, but I'm judging. Breaking up that ground beef a very little bit. It's still kind of frozen in the middle. Oops. But I can't help it. I like to buy the meat when it's on for a good sale. So whenever I see it for, you know, half off or something, I'm like, dibs. I like shopping for a deal. And these carrots, they're like the funniest shaped carrots ever. I bought like a naturally imperfect bag of carrots, and you got an extra 2 pounds for the price of it. So, good deal just for some carrots that don't fit the mold for fitting in the proper bag. But then you open them up and you're like, whoa, these aren't what I'm used to. Like, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They came from my garden. I'd be proud of them. If I had a garden, I might have them. And no, I don't have a garden. It's on that list of, you know, stuff that you think would be really nice to do, that you'd like to do someday. it's on my list. It's on my list of things that I could like to think I could see future me doing. One little carrot that was just holding out on me there and just did not want to like comply with the rest of it, and just so I am putting in the carrot and the celery. And the onion are all just going in one container together. And they're going to get a clove of garlic to go with them. I love it when the garlic press actually works like that, when it, you know, picture perfect, does what you want it to. Like right there, the peel of the clove came out perfectly, and when that happens, it makes me feel like a rock star. Okay, now we have level 1 is all prepared. I'm just gonna break up my ground beef a little here. I'm gonna throw some salt and pepper on that while it's cooking. There we go. So that'll be for Big Mac bowls. Night of, I'm just gonna heat that up a little bit, but now I do have to grab one more carrot because I didn't actually mean to put all those carrots in there. But you know what? Whatever. Another carrot is another carrot. I'm gonna make up some broccoli slaw. So broccoli slaw we can make by taking the stumps from our broccoli. And I mean, really, we just want the stumpy part. We don't want the branchy part at all. We just want the stumpy part. You want to cut kind of a woody part that's on the bottom. We want nothing to do with that. Because you can get more from your broccoli than just the florets. You can still get vitamins and nutrients all from the lovely stem. We just don't want, we don't want the hard parts on it. We want to get to kind of the softer place on it. And how much broccoli slaw you get is going to depend on how big your stem is. And you can buy broccoli slaw at the grocery store, but if you're already having broccoli that week, like, why not? You just throw this on a salad, throw it in a wrap, throw it in a stir fry if you wanted to. It's and since it's something you would usually just throw out, it's kind of like free food. And goodness knows, we pay enough for the food, you might as well get as much use out of it as you can, right? So you could put this in a food processor. You could choose so many different ways to do this. So you can put it in a food processor. You can grate it like this. You could use a mandolin. I am just using kind of the smaller side of the grater. Keep on looking to the door to see if my dog's gonna come back. It's like a nice sunny day out and she is just making full use of it. If it's too cold, she tends to go in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out again, which gets less than cute after a little while. So just go down until you are just kind of feeling like, I feel vulnerable, and then you don't want to do it anymore. We don't want you feeling like you're going to grate your fingers. Your broccoli stem is not worth grating your fingers over. We're aiming for more nutrients, not for, you know, pieces of you. So this isn't something that takes a real long time to do, but it's kind of fun. I like to be able to reduce waste in ways like this. Fit it into the meal plan, you know. Okay, so I'm also going to peel up a carrot, and that's going to go in the broccoli slaw as well. I mean, it's such an easy way to get extra nutrients and a little more nourishment for your body. You already bought it, you might as well do it. Big Mac bowls, if you wanted to do patties instead, you certainly could do patties instead. All personal preference, no wrong way to do it. And if you wanted to do that, you could make those patties right now instead. You could just put salt and pepper into some hamburger and do it that way. Although if you're going to do it that way, I'd recommend doing it at the end. Just playing with raw meat at the end is always better. I mean, unless it's just going in a pan like that. That's pretty easy. Awesome. So, I'm gonna put my very, very inexpensive broccoli slaw right in there. And that'll be fine going on a salad. Nourishment I would not have had otherwise, right? So, just gonna dump my compost here. This lovely prep board helps me so much in reducing how much my garbage travels. Because I will tell you, I am bad for it. I am bad for my garbage just traveling across the kitchen and just making its rounds. It just happens. I don't know how, but it does. on to our next. We're gonna combine our seasoning. That is very close to being done. We're gonna combine the seasoning for the Peruvian chicken. So for the Peruvian chicken, we want a couple tablespoons of oil. I have an oil dispenser here, so if you ever notice for so many recipes you want like 1 tablespoon of oil or 2 tablespoons of oil, and you can just do that with this just by giving it a little squeeze, which is fun. All right, what are we gonna use next? So I want juice from half a lime. You should be excited for this Peruvian chicken. It's not hard, but it's delicious. Oh, does anything smell better than lime? Lime just smells amazing. Okay. A couple teaspoons of sugar. I'm using maple sugar. Keeping her paleo-ish. I keep it as close to paleo as I can without going crazy, and still trying to meet the needs of my family. So I say I'm paleo-ish. I'd say I'm mostly paleo. And for me, it has everything to do, with inflammation. Paleo diet has helped me with chronic pain so much, and the further I go away from paleo, the more my pain tends to increase. Now, everybody's body works a little bit different, so I know some people have a harder time processing, say, red meat or something like that. That's not my problem. My issue is definitely has to do with grains, definitely, and dairy, soy, so many delicious, wonderful things. So if you find yourself in chronic pain and gluten-free is not enough and you ever want to try paleo, there is an option in the meal plan. You just look at any of those recipes. This is just recent. In the last couple meal plans, if you're looking at a recipe, and you can choose to make it paleo and let it be so. Okay, so got my seasonings in there. Now what I want is 4 cloves of garlic, and yes, we are going full on garlic here, guys. Not messing around. Okay, that's like a mega one. You know what? I'm down for it. Okay. That is done. I'm just pushing that off to the side a little bit. Gonna see if any grease collects down there, and then I can get that out. Okay. Now, I've got 4 cloves, so I'm just gonna try to take off some of that outer skin, because there's a lot of it. All right. So there's enough garlic if you're going on your first date and Peruvian chicken is on the menu. You want to make sure you're both eating it because you're both going to stink. There's no other way around it, but everybody's going to be so happy with their life choices for what they eat. You know what? Save it as a second date. Second date night meal when you're going to show them, hey, yeah, I can cook. Give that a little bit of a stir. Now that marinade is going to be all good to throw on your chicken. And it's gonna make it so quick to throw together. Yes, you're gonna have cook time. Cook time's okay. Cook time is time that you can be doing other things as well. So that's all right. Okay, let's see. So, seasoning for Peruvian chicken, we've got that done. Should we grate up some cheese? If anybody wants some cheese with the mac bowl, we'll get that ready now. Now, where did I put my cheese? Sure, I took you out. There you are. Just hiding. So, about a cup of cheese, unless you want to grate a little more, if you want to have it ready for something else. You want to have it ready just if you have kids, just for snacks, because you might not know this, but grated cheese tastes better than any other type of cheese, especially if you're prepared for something. So if you want to just grate the rest of it and have some for snacks and then have some ready for your mac bowls, you can definitely do that. You can buy pre-grated cheese, save yourself a step. However, when you get pre-grated cheese, you want to check because there's more ingredients in pre-grated cheese, which keeps it from sticking together, which is kind of the thing that bothers people if they grate their own cheese. They're like, well, it kind of all sticks together in the fridge or smushes together or whatever. That's just a sign it doesn't have other stuff on it. So when it sticks together in your fridge, it's okay. We can forgive it that. Less ingredients, there's more benefits in that. Did I grate more than a cup? Yes, sure did. And I am going to thank myself for that later when I'm trying to set out all the stuff for making big mac bowls and my kids are just eating all the things that I'm putting out there. I'll be very happy with my life choices. I figured why put back just a little in the fridge, right? So. There we go. Dump myself another container. We're making some good headway, guys. We're getting better. Okay, have you ever made buffalo sauce before? Don't know if you've ever made buffalo sauce before, but if you have not, it is literally the easiest thing. So you can take some butter. I've got some ghee here that I'm gonna put in it. And the more butter you put in it, the milder your sauce is going to be. So we want 1/3 of a cup of buffalo sauce. So 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup. So I'm just gonna put some of my ghee in there. Put it in the microwave for a second. And then I'm going to take a hot sauce. And fill it on up to the 1/3 cup line. So you can do this for however much you want to make. I do like to make some modifications to mine sometimes, just for a bit of fun. So I'll put some cilantro in mine and some garlic and one of my favorite rubs called bell pepper herb rub. Anyway, that's all it takes. That's buffalo sauce. You don't have to buy buffalo sauce. You can make your own. And get playful with the ingredients that you put in it, and you can make all kinds of delicious wing sauces and stuff. Okay, so take that, put that in your back pocket, and keep that for, well, I was gonna say a rainy day. How about this week? How about for this week? Yes, let's do that. Also for this week, we're gonna make some mac sauce for our mac bowls. If you have multiple sensitivities, it's nice to be able to make your own sauces because you know what's going in it. So, I'm just going to check these because the time's going to run out in a couple minutes, and I want to see how far along we are. Those are definitely going to need more time. Okay. Which is fine. It's one of those things. I'm just curious about how long does it take to make them. I will say I think pressure cooker is going to be my favorite way to make them because you put them in for like 15 minutes, let them sit in there and off gas for about 10. I find it a very convenient way to make them. It's very no thought. And I like not thinking. So, I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Couple tablespoons of relish. Relish that my mother-in-law makes, actually, which is, I mean, that's nice, isn't it? She's so talented with these things. It's like she makes her relish out of vegetables that she's growing in her own garden, and I just have all the respect in the world for it. Okay. 1.5 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Use any type that you want. Stir some apple cider vinegar in. onion powder. Garlic powder. Grab back my paprika. And some salt. Just gonna give that a stir. So that's gonna make you a nice Big Mac knockoff sauce. If you already have a favorite burger sauce that you would rather use instead of this one, you can go right ahead. Go wild. But I don't know, guys, this one's pretty darn good. It's definitely worth making. And then having burgers and more burgers and more burgers until it's gone. Heck, I would use that as a dip. It's delicious. That is it for level 2, and we already have most of level 3 done. There's one thing that I just might suggest to you if you wanted to do is make some croutons. So if you guys are still with me, then let's do that, shall we? So making croutons is very, very easy. You could buy gluten-free croutons if you can find some in your area. You can make use of the heels of your bread to make some croutons. Pick, you know, something that you might not eat anyway. I know I'm not big on eating the heels. Perhaps you are. I don't know. Okay. So I'm literally just going to take some bread and cube it into whatever size I want my croutons to be. And these are just if you want a bit of extra carbs to go with your Big Mac bowl. Just in case you're missing the carbs with it, then this is your chance to have some. So throw some oil in there. You know what? I'm going to throw some garlic parmesan oil in there. Yes, there we go. So now you can throw in a clove of garlic, some salt and pepper, and some oil, or I'm just gonna throw in some garlic parmesan oil there. And whatever, if it gets a little bit of carrot and onion and celery on it, it is not the end of the world. Just going to mix that all up. I'm gonna throw a little bit of parsley in there too. Throw some green in there. Why not? There we go. So I'm gonna throw these in the air fryer. Just gonna throw in the air fryer for 5 minutes, let them toast, and then I am going to have some croutons ready. I'm still curious to know how long those are going to take. I'm gonna give them one last check before we, before we say farewell. Because that's all I got. Now's the time if you want to look in your fridge, see if anything needs to be used up, find out if you could incorporate it into another meal. Maybe you can turn it into a side dish, sneak it into one of these meals. If not, take it out, process it, and then freeze it, and then you can use it for another day. Just make sure that you mark it and you put a date on it so you know what it is and when it was packed up. So we want to put it in our freezer so that we can use it later, not so that we can put it in our freezer and forget about it till later. Anyways, let's check this out, shall we? I'd say they're getting very close. So I'm gonna say in the air fryer, probably about 45 minutes. Those are pretty decent sized sweet potatoes. I'm gonna say around 45 minutes-ish. Or longer if you want. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this week's meals, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.